What's good, everyone? It's the one and only NYP. Now, if you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some more gaming content soon, give this video a like. If you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Now, let's get into this video. All right, it's time for the 2019-2020 Detroit Lions team preview, man. It's time for the team preview for the Lions, man. You know, I've been showing the Lions a lot of love, man, especially during Mike Daniels' situation when he signed with the Lions, man. I've been showing y'all some love, and you know, going to last season, right? Y'all were one of my sleeper teams going to last season. I was a huge fan of the pickup of LeGarrette Blount. We saw how that didn't work, so you know, a lot of people were looking at me sideways when I said LeGarrette Blount was going to be the first 1,000-yard rusher y'all had since Bush in like damn near a decade. But you know, the Blount situation didn't work. But you guys found another running back yourself in Kerryon Johnson. So I guess it worked out to, you know, in a different way. Matt Patricia, he was a first-year head coach last year, right? First-year head coach. We know that he was part of the Patriots team for a while, right? And you know, last year it was kind of hard, kind of difficult, you know. Trying to bring his own perspective on the team. Of course, you know, he's a defensive mastermind. At least that's what he's, you know, supposed to be. And you know, that's a specialty, right? You know, the Lions last year in 2018, they went 6-10, finished last in the NFC North. So it was an up and down year. Matthew Stafford had one of his worst years, but going into this year, I'm really optimistic about this team. I really am. So let's go ahead and speak about the quarterback situation. Matthew Stafford. Personally, I've always been a big fan of Matthew Stafford. I mean, ever since he came in the NFL, he's had one of the top arms in the NFL. In my opinion, he still has a top 5 arm in the NFL. Might not have the same arm strength that he had in 2009, fresh out of, he went to Georgia, right? I think so. You know, fresh as a rookie, but he still got top tier arm strength, right? In my opinion, he's improved his decision making. Like I said, I know last year was kind of up and down year, different coaching staff, right? Different personnel. But you know, I think Matthew Stafford has improved his accuracy, improved his touch, and just improved overall. In my opinion, see, I hate, you know, I'm like giving out. So I want to make my own video when it comes to quarterback rankings. But in my opinion, I think you had to mention Matthew Stafford at least as a top 15 quarterback, at least. Right? So in my opinion, I think the quarterback situation is perfect. I know some people have been going off or out of pocket and seeing that they need a chase for another quarterback, maybe go after someone like a Kirk Cousins. Nah. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Kirk Cousins, but in my opinion, Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford are pretty much at the same tier. They're pretty much in the same tier, if you ask me. So, I mean, Matthew Stafford, you gotta remember, Matthew Stafford is a clutch performer. He's one of the clutchest quarterbacks we have in the game. You remember, going to last season, he had like 30-something game-winning drives. I mean, this is what Matthew Stafford does. And like, of course, last year, disappointing year, but you know, there was so many things going on with the roster moves and everything. But quarterback position plus, you know, now God forbid if Matthew Stafford gets injured, because then you got Tom Savage, and you know, it could look ugly, you know. So hopefully Matthew Stafford just stay healthy, do his thing, right? Running back position, right? I spoke about Kerryon Johnson. Didn't know that much about him going into last season, but after watching him play, dude's a stud. And I was wondering why LeGarrette Blount wasn't getting as many touches as I thought he was going to get going to last year, because in my opinion, last year, the reason why I was so big on LeGarrette Blount was it was something different, where you know, in the past they would have Theo Reddick, Amir Abdullah, but Garrett Blount, 240-pound running back. He can handle the ball. Yeah, I thought he was gonna be perfect for goal line situations, but I mean they got what they needed when it comes to a power back in Kerryon Johnson, and a little bit more, right? So Kerryon Johnson proved that he can be a #1 running back in this league, and he proved it, right? 1,000-yard rusher, the first time it's happened since Bush. Expect him to just improve, Kerryon Johnson, yeah, he's that dude. Another underrated move, they picked up C.J. Anderson. We know the impact that C.J. Anderson had with the Rams last year, especially playoff time. We already know about Todd Gurley injury history, and C.J. Anderson showed up and stepped up. Yeah, in my opinion, I know the Rams drafted Darrell Henderson, so that was part of the reason why they didn't bring back C.J. Anderson, but you're not going to hurt having C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson himself is a rolling power back. He's a rolling ball, man. Rolling ball, downfield runner. I mean, C.J. Anderson's that dude himself. So you got two solid running backs, and we know this is going to be a balanced offense, man. It really is. And, it was kind of last year, and, it was tough for Matthew Stafford to adjust to that, because we know Matthew Stafford before that is known for throwing the ball 40 to 45 times a game. Now there's a little bit more structure. You have some talent on the running back side. So we all expect Kerryon Johnson to get, a lot of the carries, but I think C.J. Anderson, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. Kerryon Johnson needs a break, getting a little bit tired. Pin C.J. Anderson. Bam. Running between the tackles, 4 to 5 yards. I mean, this is what they're going to do. And you have to love it. You have to. Wide receiver position. Let's speak on this. Before I speak on it, shout out to Jermaine Kearse. As a longtime Seahawks fan, I mean, I just have mad love for Jermaine Kearse. We remember that 2014 NFC Championship game where Jermaine Kearse, scored the game-winning touchdown to take us to the Super Bowl, where we would end up losing to the Patriots and all. But it's sad what happened. You never want to see. And this is the worst part about football, man. It's injuries. Injuries, man. I was watching the preseason, enjoying all of it, watching Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold do their thing, watching some of these young guys like a Devin Singletary put in work. But the worst part of football, being back is injuries, man. And it was a disgusting injury. I mean, I didn't see it because from the angle that they were showing the play, you really couldn't see his leg turn, but you could tell by the way his right leg was at, his left leg wasn't in that same position. So it was ugly, and he's already out for the season, of course. And it's just sad, man. Hopefully Jermaine Kearse, he can just rehab goes well, he gets better, and maybe he can see himself back on the field, but that's just tough to see. But just as a wide receiver position as a whole, Kenny Golladay, he proved a breakout star last year, right? Breakout star. They traded Golden Tate. Wide receiver position was looking a little bit suspect, but Kenny Golladay, man, he showed up and showed well, right? You know what Kenny Golladay is about. Expect him to play even a bigger role with the offense, right? Marvin Jones, been a solid wide receiver himself. There was a point, I won't say last year, but in that 2017 season, I believe, people were talking about him as a top 10 receiver. I thought that was probably maybe a little bit of a stretch, but we know Marvin Jones is a solid receiver. And it's looking like with Kenny Golladay being that breakout receiver, it looks like Marvin Jones is going to be that number 2 receiver. It's looking like it. So you can't go wrong with Marvin Jones as your second receiver. Not at all. So that's good to see. Danny Amendola, brought him in. We know Danny Amendola, he does his thing in the slot. I mean, we seen him with the Patriots. Miami kind of quiet, right? Miami was they were a solid team last year, but not that many people were watching Miami. But Danny Amendola, he was still doing his thing in the slot, and he's just going to work magic. Now, this is the thing. Matthew Stafford, sometimes he's been known to force the ball with fade and streak routes. Now he has somebody he can just dump it down to. That's all you need at times. It's somebody you can just dump it down to. So I like that pickup, right? So the wide receiver position, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I mean, it really is. Now, it would have been even better if Jermaine Kearse could have stayed. This would have not been injured, but man, football is just, sports in general, man, it's just rough at times, man. Injuries, it's just the worst part of sports. It just is. On to the tight end position. We gotta speak on this tight end position. You know that they brought in Jesse James, and when they got rid of Eric Ebron, I believe that was 2 years ago, right? I felt a certain way about it. Now, nobody was predicting a 16 touchdown season by Eric Ebron last year, but I knew that Eric Ebron upside was still. He showed it. He showed upside. It was just the consistency wasn't really there in Detroit. Part of that, Matthew Stafford, Eric Ebron probably not seeing eye to eye, but I mean, to give up a talent like that, it didn't look good, right? It didn't. Talking about Luke Wilson, they gave up Luke Wilson, but they brought in Jesse James, who was one of the top tight end threats, receiving threats. Play the tight end position, was one of the best receiving threats for the Steelers for the past few seasons, right? And then the big move was them drafting T.J. Hawkinson in the first round. And like I said, man, I don't really watch college football. But the upside of this guy, T.J. Hawkinson, has, I mean, they already predicting him to be the next Gronk. And if he has if he's 75% of what Gronk was, or 50% of what Gronk was, it will be scary. Now, when it comes to tight ends, their rookie year, it's hard for them to produce their rookie season, so we might not see him full strength his rookie season, especially with Jesse James there. I think Jesse James is going to be the immediate number one tight end. But, that second season, he's probably going to play a huge role. Offensive line, pretty solid. It's going to need to uphold. We know that this offensive line at times has been a little bit inconsistent. You got Ricky Wagner, Taylor Decker, Kenny Wiggins, right? Really no big names, but this offensive line, you got Glasgow. If this offensive line can just hold up, right, that's what they're really going to need. Hold up, play well. This is really where their offense is going to really it's going to play the hugest part. It's the X factor. This offense is the offensive line, because they got talent everywhere, right? They got talent everywhere. But if this offensive line can just hold it up, get some good run blocking for Johnson and C.J. Anderson, give Matthew Stafford just a few seconds to read the defense and make a play. It could be really scary. But for the offense as a whole, offense is looking really good. Offense is looking good, man. The offense is looking good. In my opinion, like I said, they did lose a Golden Tate. No more Blunt, no more Luke Wilson. But if I'm being honest, this offense is probably looking better than what it was going to last season. I mean, it really is. And it's Matthew Stafford, another season under this new offensive style, right? New offensive style, more balanced offense. His second year in the new scheme. So we might see a leap of his progression in this new scheme. On to the defense, man. Y'all know I've been waiting to speak about this. Y'all know how I feel about Mike Daniels and his defensive line, right? Y'all know how I feel about this defensive line overall. Like I said, this might be the best defensive line in the NFL. I mean, in my opinion, it comes down to, probably this Lions defensive line and probably the Eagles defensive line. And you could probably throw the Rams in there just because of Aaron Donald. And maybe, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, The 49ers are probably a breakout defensive line team. You can probably throw in did I say the Steelers? I think I did. Anyway, this Lions defensive line is for real. Damian Harrison, probably the best run stopper we have in the NFL. He's been doing this for the longest. You know what Snacks is about. He gets busy, right? You got Ashawn Robinson, another big defensive tackle, right? I think he's going to even get better. We spoke about Mike Daniels. He's coming in. Coming in, man. Been in the division for the past 7 years with the Green Bay Packers. Now he's staying in the division. You know what he's about. Now it's gonna be interesting how they play him. Are they gonna play him at the defensive end position, or are they gonna play him at defensive tackle? That's gonna be interesting because he's been playing defensive tackle the past few years, and he's pretty big, man. I mean, it's gonna be interesting, man. This overall, this defense as a whole is just, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, I didn't even mention Trey Flowers. We know that he played a big part of the Patriots last year with his pass rush. He's even a pretty good run stopper. I mean, Trey Flowers is the truth himself, and he's big. Deshaun Hands, big guy, man. Like this is ridiculous when you think about it. This is ridiculous, man. So I mean, it's gonna be damn near unfair to play against this defensive line in the regular season. I mean, for real. So this defensive line is A+, point blank period. Linebacker position, right? This is going to play the biggest part, I think, because this is the biggest question mark, in my opinion, when it comes to this defense overall. No really big names. Devon Kennard, Jared Davis. They drafted Jelani Tavai. You got Christian Jones there. But, I mean, when you're talking overall, when it comes to this defense, I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. It really is. Because Christian Jones, a lot of people feel skeptical about him. Jared Davis showed a little bit. You need to see some more consistency. But that's the biggest question mark. This linebacking core can just be solid. I mean, the thing is, it's going to really be big in coverage because it's going to be hard to get past Damian Harrison for run stopping. I mean, teams are not going to run. It's not going to want to run up the middle against his defense. Like, they're really not going to want to do that. So outside, they might try him on the outside, but then again, you got to get past Trey Flowers, or you got to get past Deshaun Hands, right? So I think the biggest part is going to be coverage because, in my opinion, that's what you're going to do. And we're going to speak about the secondary soon. But teams, I think, are going to be trying to get this team under the middle. They're going to try to get them in between. So they're going to have to step up. Not saying that they need to be elite and just pick off every single pass and be Deion Jones and Bobby Wagner, Luke Kuechly, but I mean, just hold your own, man. Make tackles, just play your role. That's all the linebackers have to do. And if they can do that, it's going to be looking really good. To the secondary, though, Darius Slay Jr. I mean, a top 10 cornerback in the NFL. I know some people feel he's even a top 5 corner. I mean, Darius Slay, I mean, he led the league. He was second. He tied the league for picks, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe him and Xavier Howard were up there for interceptions, and DeMonte KZ from the Falcons. But he was out there for interceptions. We know what he's about, but let's see. Another year. Can he even take another leap? We'll see what's got. Quandre Diggs, he's been in the league for a little while. Strong safety, right? You brought in Justin Coleman from my Seahawks to play nickel. At least that's what I think he is, because he played nickel for us last year. So I believe that's the same role he's going to play over here. Rashawn Melvin, solid cornerback, right? They dropped their Will Harris. We'll see if he comes in and gives any production, even though they got Miles Cabral as a starting free safety. But look, this secondary, in my opinion, is solid. I mean, you already got Darius Slay, so he should make it tough for the number one receiver. Justin Coleman is a solid, I'm not going to say good, but I say solid slot corner. Rashawn Melvin is probably going to be the other cornerback on the outside. But, I mean, again, I still think the biggest part of this defense that's going to need to step up is this linebacking core. Not saying the secondary couldn't improve. I mean, I think that they could find another top tier corner to play aside Darius Slay. I think the safety position seems like, it could be a question mark. But in my opinion, I still got to go back to the linebacking core. Can this linebacking core, can someone, just play decent, right? But this defensive line, like I said, this defensive line is elite. You got an elite cornerback. So at worst, I see the secondary being below average. In my opinion, I think this is an average secondary. I'm just kind of worried about this linebacking core. But we spoke about the offense, spoke about the defense, even spoke about the coaching staff, right? And, talking about the coaching staff again, maybe Matt Patricia, we know that he's a defensive mind. Maybe he can find something out of these linebackers. I mean, we'll see how that plays out. But Matt Patricia, in my opinion, has a really good defensive mind. But like I said, offensive defense, spoke about the coaching staff. Now it's time to rank the teams. And, when it comes to ranking this team, man, going into this season, look, I felt that this team was, kind of underwhelming, right? I mean, I'm talking about the beginning of the offseason. I was like, I'm thinking that the Lions, it could look ugly for the Lions. But after thinking about it, right, after seeing the pickup of Mike Daniels, after bringing in someone like a C.J. Anderson, drafting T.J. Hawkinson, like this might be a stretch, right? This might be a stretch, but I gotta put them in tier 2. I think this is a really good team going into this upcoming season. I really believe that. I mean, I still can't get over this defensive line, and dude, the defensive line is just going to rejuvenate the defense overall. I don't think people realize when you have an elite defensive line and you have an elite run stopper, and that team's going to have to come in and pass on you, and you have elite pass rushing and Trey Flowers and players like that, dude, that teams are not going to have all day to throw the ball. So teams are going to have to force passes. You got a ball hawking and Darius Slay Jr., so he's going to probably make some plays. That's going to lead to more opportunities for secondary players to make plays. So it's going to be hard to score on them, and they're going to be getting big plays themselves on the defensive side. That's going to be giving the ball back to the offense where they can run the ball, have a good quarterback, in my opinion, Matthew Stafford, have some good receiving threats. So I mean, overall, this team is really good. I don't get all this about, I even saw somebody that thinks that the Lions are gonna go 0-16, and probably you guys know who said that. But I mean, honestly, man, the Lions disrespect is, it's from a lot of people. The Lions disrespect has been going out of hand. I mean, it really has. That's been going out of hand for the longest. And, Detroit, I got y'all back. I always got mad love for Detroit, But, I just think that the Lions, they have too much talent on the interior defensive line. Quarterback is not an issue. You, in my opinion, you have a good head coach. So, I mean, look, this team has the potential to be one of the top teams in the NFC. Right, you guys know how I feel about this division, though. This division is every team. I still got my 2 other team previews for the other teams, but this is, in my opinion, the toughest division in the NFL. I mean, it really is. So there's no telling how this division will break out, but this team is really good, though, and I think it deserves more respect. But that's just how I feel. Lions fans, how you guys feel about that? Do you guys feel that y'all one of the top tier teams? Do you guys feel that I'm overrating your team? Do you guys feel that, after last season, you guys being 6-10, do you guys feel that I'm showing too much love for your team, or do you guys feel as optimistic as I am about your team? Comment that down below. Love to hear your opinions, but that's pretty much it, man. Pretty much it. If you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some more gaming content, give this video a like, and if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you get it. I'm the Phenomenal One, and I'm out. Deuces.